Hey you guys, today I want to talk about the possibility that Xion and Skuld are connected, and how this could possibly change some things we have seen throughout the series. Joining me today is Lunar Lux.
Hello, my name is Lunar Lux. I also do Kingdom Hearts content here on YouTube. I'm very excited to be a part of this video, and I hope you're all ready to get into this with us.
He has some really interesting insights about Xion and Skuld, so I figured we could collab on this together. If you don't know who Skuld is, she is a character introduced in the Union Cross mobile game. This character was invited by Ava to join the Dandelions, a group of special Keyblade wielders that were sent off to another world line to escape the coming Keyblade War. Skuld was tasked with being a Union leader over the Dandelions to guide them. We haven't seen what has happened after this, but the secret reports from Kingdom Hearts 3 shed some light on this. It seems that the darkness caused the Union leaders to jump to another world line to escape. I believe this could be the moment where Skuld ends up unconscious in Radiant Garden, where Ansem the Wise's apprentices found her. This is how Skuld wound up in a cell as Subject X. How is this connected to Xion though? First, we need to talk about Kairi, since Xion was born from Sora's memories of Kairi. I'll throw this one over to Lunar.
Kairi grew up in Radiant Garden. We have seen her talking with her grandmother in the castle scene in Kingdom Hearts 1, as well as the pavilion in Union Cross and in front of Ansem's castle in Birth by Sleep. It's not clear what Kairi's association with Ansem the Wise is, since he was considered the king of the land and Kairi was targeted as a princess of heart in Kingdom Hearts 1. That's a topic for another time though. I believe Kairi also ended up in one of these cells and was subsequently experimented on. Here's why I think she was a subject. First off, Kairi has memory problems as shown in both Kingdom Hearts 1 and Kingdom Hearts 3. We know that Ansem the Wise's experiments delved into the heart and its memories. Xehanort is the one who experimented on Subject X, and probably Kairi. In the Ansem reports from Kingdom Hearts 1, it states that he will release Kairi to see what happens. We later learn that this is actually Xehanort talking on Ansem the Wise's behalf. This idea of him releasing her makes me think that she was held captive, which adds evidence to the fact that she was one of Xehanort's subjects. I think these 2 points make a case that Kairi was in one of the cells below Radiant Garden.
So the stage is set. I feel like we have provided evidence for how both Kairi and Skuld are in the cells below Radiant Garden being experimented on. We've seen that the cells are not that far apart during Xemnas' trek through the cell block, so it's possible that Kairi and Skuld were able to talk. If they formed a connection, would this have some kind of effect? I believe the reason Xion looks the way she does is because of the effect that Skuld had on Kairi. Xion is a puppet who changes in appearance depending on who is looking at her. Eventually, I believe she formed a heart, which is why everyone now sees her the same way in Kingdom Hearts 3. Initially, she was a hooded figure whose face was hidden. Soon after she appears though, she reveals her face to Roxas. Roxas sees her as a dark-haired girl. Roxas has both a connection to Sora and Ventus, so I wonder, if Kairi and Skuld are indeed connected, would Roxas see a mix of Skuld and Kairi when looking at Xion, since the hearts that birthed Roxas have a connection to both? Sora knew Kairi, and Ventus knew Skuld. So is it possible that the appearance of Xion is emerging in both girls? As a side note, maybe this is why Naminé doesn't look like Kairi either, and why she has power over Sora's chain of memories. Either this power comes from Skuld, who's connected with spirits who ate away the bad memories of the Dandelions, or it comes from the experiments into the heart that were conducted on them while in Xehanort's captivity. I kinda got off on a tangent, let's get back on track.
Other people saw Xion differently than how Roxas saw her. Xemnas saw Sora when he looked at her, Axel saw Naminé, and Xigbar saw Ventus. Everyone else who sees Xion sees an actual person or nobody that is an exact copy of the original person. So what is causing Roxas to see a completely different person? Also, it always seemed odd to me that Ventus was the one who appeared to Xigbar. I guess it makes sense because Ven fought Xigbar in Birth by Sleep, but I guess now that we know Xigbar is actually Luxu, and that both Ven and Luxu existed during the Age of Fairy Tales, it makes me look at this scene differently. Luxu talks about how he handed down his Keyblade to one of the Union leaders, so maybe he interacted with Ventus a couple of times during the Age of Fairy Tales and ended up giving him the Keyblade. Axel seeing Naminé rather than Skuld does shake this theory a little, though Lee and Isa never saw her clearly, so Axel could have swapped in Naminé, as she was probably a stronger connection with him at this point. Sykes never saw Xion for anything more than a puppet, but I wonder, the secret reports in Kingdom Hearts 3 say that they only had a thin sliver of light that lit the girl in the cell. Maybe he actually could see her, but never realized it. She never had a face that was shown to him, but would always see her face darkened by her hood. Not quite clear and not enough light to show him what was under there.
At some point though, Xion's heart must have formed and stabilized how she looked, since the interactions in Kingdom Hearts 3 show everyone seeing her as the dark-haired girl. Most likely, stabilization happened after Roxas defeats her at the end of 358 over 2 days. Xion returns to Sora's heart and probably kept her form from then onwards. Something else to add to Lee and Isa when it comes to Xion's appearance is that we know that Lee and Isa chose to be a part of Ansem's research team to find Subject X. Lee and Isa talk about this before the Keyblade War, about how they never found her and how they both always wanted to rescue her. Isa says that Lee gave up, and ever since 358 over 2 days, he seems to have this resentment towards Lee for giving up on their search for their friend. Maybe Lee stopped searching once he formed a connection with Xion and Roxas. Maybe Lee's gravitation towards Xion is because she looks like Subject X, or rather Skuld. I find it interesting that in this same cutscene, Isa also talks about how the upside down tears are gone to prevent him from crying. Maybe he would always get emotional when they couldn't find Skuld. Now let's go back to when Lee is training with Kairi. This is when he remembers Xion, or at least sees her and begins to cry. He doesn't have those tear marks anymore. I want to point out that yes, this scene is clearly Lee faintly remembering Xion, but the scene where he sees her is faint. She's hidden by the light. In the report we talked about earlier, where Isa talks about encountering Subject X, he writes about how they could barely make out her features with a sliver of light within the darkness of her cell. I find it interesting how the way Isa describes their encounter with Subject X and how Lee remembers Xion are kind of similar. Subject X was buried in darkness and made out through a bit of light, while Xion was bathed in it and could barely be seen through it. They are opposite, but in the end they are both difficult to make out, and that they have in common. Again, Lee sees Xion and definitely not Skuld, but just the way everything is described to us and the way it's presented, there's some sort of connection and resemblance to how Lee remembers Xion in that scene and how they encountered Subject X.
For fun, I decided to compare Final Form Xion and Skuld to see if there are any hints to them, and there are actually, to my surprise, a few things that I'd like to point out. Final Form Xion has something of a black coat on, and it cuts off just like Skuld's does. Some may think that this is a mirror to Kingdom Hearts 2 Sora, but remember, he wasn't exactly Kingdom Hearts 2 Sora yet. So, for the sake of the topic of this video, let's say it's based off of Skuld's appearance. The black coat mixed with the grays and the whites found in Skuld's outfit match the base colors of Final Form Xion. The next color we see in Skuld's outfit is pink, and that is also shown on her belts and her boots. Her earring and the inside of her jacket are also pink. Pink is another color that we see on Final Form Xion, for the most part, in terms of accenting her overall color palette and her design. Keep in mind, I did this comparison for fun, and although this may be reaching, it is still at least interesting to talk about. We already know that Nomura most likely based Strelitzia's design off of Marluxia's Guardian in Chain of Memories, so maybe if Skuld and Xion do have a connection, he did the same for Skuld's design. So that is all that we have for you guys today. Again, my name is Lunar Lux, and I'm a Kingdom Hearts content creator here on YouTube. I have other types of content currently in the works, so I hope you guys are all looking forward to that. I also stream over on Twitch at twitch.tv/LunarLuxYT, and I have a Twitter, which is at LunarLuxYT. Feel free to give me a follow on either or, and don't forget to say hello. I want to thank Bio for allowing me to be a part of this video, and I hope you all enjoyed watching it.
Anyways, that is all I have for you guys today. A huge thank you to Lunar Lux for coming on. I'll leave a link to his channel down in the description below, as well as in the comments. He has some really interesting theories about Kingdom Hearts, so you should check him out. I'm pretty active on Twitch, YouTube, Discord, and Twitter, so be sure to follow the links in the description below to stay connected. If you like this, click the cards on screen and watch some of my other Kingdom Hearts 3 breakdowns. Subscribe or share this, and I'll see you in the next video. Also, if you want to see my breakdowns early, commentaries on those breakdowns, or watch some exclusive streams, consider becoming a member. Click the join button right beside the subscribe button to learn more.